there. Are we good to go, finally?
You ready to go on vacation?
Only a half hour late, that's alright.
No, the sun's still not up, so small pictures. Had a girl. We're going on vacation. We're going on vacation.
So, 6 hours from now, we've got to change. Alright, good morning.
Morning, Nala. She's still tired.
3 heads in the frame can only mean one thing. It is time for a road trip. This channel has been dormant for quite a while, mostly due to,
COVID.
Yeah, yay COVID. We haven't been able to do any traveling, so yeah, if you're not traveling, there's not much to film. But we decided to take a road trip, just Caitlin, myself, and the dog. We invited Jen along too, but she didn't like what we had in store on this trip and decided to stay home with her puppy. So so it's just the 3 of us, and basically what we're going to be doing is kind of a pretty cool road trip that a lot of people would love to do at some point in their lives. Is we've got to get up to Northern Virginia by I don't know, mid-morning. Gonna do Shenandoah National Park via Skyline Drive, and where that ends, the Blue Ridge Parkway begins, and we're going to continue on the Blue Ridge Parkway all the way down until its southern end, where basically it dumps you right at the entrance of Great Smoky Mountains National Park in Cherokee, North Carolina. And then we're going to spend a day or two exploring Smoky Mountains National Park.
And then head on back here.
And then head on back home. So the whole trip is going to take 7 nights. And we're staying at campgrounds along the way. There's several campgrounds along the Blue Ridge Parkway and Skyline Drive. So we'll take you to our campsites as well on all of those. And we've got some pretty special meals in store. So you'll have to stay tuned for that. But we just finished gassing up. We're taking advantage of the bright lights at the gas station to get this video taken care of. And we're all pretty tired because we were up late and we've got to head out early. And the reason we got to get out early is the first campground we're staying at is a first come first serve campground, and I read online that it fills up very quickly, and with today being a Friday, it's going to fill up extra quickly. So
gotta get there quick.
So we've got to get to that campground shortly after they open up for registrations. So that's the plan, and that's it.
Yeah.
So for now, we just got to do a lot of driving. We're just driving on regular roads until we get up to the northern end of Shenandoah National Park, where we'll jump onto Skyline Drive from there. So we will pick it up at some point along the way once we find something interesting.
And the sun is up.
Yeah, well, and the sun will be up by then. So that's it for now. We'll see you then.
All right, Nala.
4 hours and 1 minute. We are at our first stop of the morning. Normally I like to drive for hours and hours and hours just to reach a destination, but I got to remember we've got her with us, and she was indicating that she needed to get out of the car for a bit. So we are here in Charlottesville, Virginia, on just off of Route 29. We've been on Route 29 for quite some time now. Just traveling north on US Route 29, heading towards the town of Front Royal, which is actually the town where Skyline Drive ends. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. Just a quick stop to stretch the legs a little bit. We're about 90 minutes away from Front Royal right now. Unless we decide to turn on the camera and talk while we're in the car driving, our next clip will probably be our first stop on Skyline Drive. So we'll see you then. People stopped over there. All right, doggy stop number 2. We've made it to the entrance of Shenandoah National Park. We're at the northern entrance of the Shenandoah National Park at the beginning of Skyline Drive, and we're letting the dog out for another little bit of a break so she can explore a little bit. So we've made it. It's what? 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
So my aim is to get to the campground by about 4 o'clock. And that campground is about 85 miles south on this road. So we'll be stopping several times along the way. We've got a visitor center just a couple of miles into the park from here that we'll be stopping at. And at some point we got to buy a park pass because this park is not free. I think I read online it's 20 bucks per car to go on this road. So, and that gives you a pass for a week. So that is something we'll have to get, whether we have to get it at a gate at the beginning of the park here, or do we get it at the visitor center? I don't yet know. You'll see it when we get going. So that's where we are right now. So vacation officially begins.
I'm a fairy princess. Someone called Disney. Hi, buddy. He won't leave. I can't get him to leave. Look at him. Isn't he cute?
How you doing? Oh, yep, definitely. Thank you. All right, thank you. Here. Dickey Ridge Visitor Center was the first visitor center we encountered in Shenandoah National Park. This park, like all national parks in the United States, have a variety of services for visitors of the park. National Park Visitor Centers are a great place to stop and stretch your legs a little bit. They also have restrooms, information booths, gift shops, and food via either a restaurant, store, or both. Signal Knob Overlook. You see the Shenandoah River down there. Are you having fun, Miss Nala? Are you having fun? Yeah. If you've ever driven on Skyline Drive or Blue Ridge Parkway, you know the two roads are very similar. They snake along the easternmost ridge of the Blue Ridge Mountains, offering views of the surrounding countryside not found on any other route. There are overlooks and parking areas every couple of miles on these roads, offering spectacular views and access to countless hiking trails. The Appalachian Trail crisscrosses the road many times and forms the backbone of the trail system. Skyland Visitor Center is at the highest point on Skyline Drive, and it not only offers all the typical services that most visitor centers offer, but it also offers lodging. There are a variety of mountainside cabins that you can rent. There's also a higher concentration of hiking trails and things to do in the Skyland area than in the rest of the park. Look at those dark clouds that we're heading into. Hello.
Hi.
Guess what? We are set up at the campsite. I wanted to film us actually setting up, but as we were approaching our campground, the last 5 miles or so, we came into a heavy downpour, thunder and lightning and the whole bit. And as we drove around the campground to find a site, the people at the office told us there's plenty of openings tonight, simply due to the weather. These storms are expected to continue throughout the evening. We found a campsite. Basically, we were looking for a campsite in the pouring rain.
Yeah, just trying to find one that had dry ground.
Right, one that didn't have
Puddles
in it. So, but we found one. And actually, when we first found it, I was mainly looking for a site that had dry ground for the tent. I didn't really care about the rest of the site. And we did. That area where the tent is actually pretty dry. But around the picnic table was a big puddle of water. And we went back around. Once we claimed the site, you have to put a card over on the pedestal over there. Once we claimed the site, we had to go back to the office to register and pay and all that. And by the time we came back, it had pretty much stopped raining, and we essentially hurried up to put the tent and the canopy up because you know, the rain is expected to continue tonight, so we wanted to do it while we had a little bit of dry. And by the time we had everything set up, all the water that was around the picnic table had soaked in to the ground. So it is still wet and somewhat muddy there, but the water is going away rather quickly. So
yeah,
looks like we got a pretty decent site here. It's pretty private. There is a campsite next to us on either side, but they can't see us. And the only people that will really be able to see us is if somebody sets up camp at that site right over there. Other than that, we're in a pretty good spot right here.
Everything's pretty private.
So, and throughout the week, as we do these campgrounds, we're really only going to use the canopy if we're expecting rain. That way we'll have a dry place to sit outside the tent. So that's why we set it up this way. I didn't want to do the canopy. I was hoping we didn't have to use it all week, because the thing's a bit of a pain in the butt to set up.
But it's wet, so it was necessary.
It's very wet tonight, and the picnic table is wet, and it's necessary to do it tonight, so like she said. So that's where we're at, and we're going to go ahead and continue. Nothing is in the tent yet. We don't have our bed set up. We don't have our food set up. It's now 4:30. Doesn't look like we're going to have a good sunset shot tonight. There is a sunset spot I had picked out to do some sunset photography.
But that requires being able to see the sky.
About a mile down the road, yeah. And we'll keep an eye on the skies. If the skies open up enough at around sunset, which is around 8 p.m.-ish. So we got about 3 more hours before we worry about sunset. If things start to clear up a little bit, we'll run down and do some photography. It's only about a mile away. Other than that, we're going to go ahead and continue setting up and relax, because both of us are exhausted.
We started around 4:30 this morning.
Yeah, we didn't get finished packing until after midnight last night, and we hit the road around 4:30 this morning. So do the math. I got maybe 3 hours of sleep. She actually stayed up past later than I did last night, doing some other stuff. So she only got about an hour of sleep. So we're both pretty exhausted. And dinner's going to be pretty light. We've got a pretty good surprise on that. We're actually not going to have to do any cooking tonight. So we planned ahead, because we knew with all the driving we did today to get up to the top of Skyline Drive, and then 80 miles of Skyline Drive in, I knew we'd be pretty tired tonight. All right, that's it. We'll go ahead and stop for now, and then we'll
finish setting up.
We'll turn the camera on if we have anything else to say. One of the things we like to do when we go camping is to have a little fun with it. You know, sometimes we do cook on the campfire. Sometimes we pull out the grill and whatnot. We like to go ahead and experiment with MREs. And that's what we have here in these boxes. Is 2 boxes of military issue meals ready to eat. Basically, it's a meal in a bag. These 2 cases contain 24 total, 12 each. Mm-hmm. We brought them both along with them. Obviously, we're not going to eat all this food, because each one of these...
It's a lot.
We've eaten the MREs before, and you're full when you're done eating them. But
You can buy them from eBay. They're usually
around what, $10 to $15 per meal.
And you buy them from like an army surplus store online.
And we're going to go ahead and open these up just to show you exactly what we have. And then we're each going to pick one, and we're going to
have it for dinner.
Have one for dinner.
We don't feel like cooking.
Crappy night. We're both tired. We didn't get a lot of sleep. Translates to we're going with an easy meal tonight, and that's what these are. So let's go ahead and get these started.
Okay, how do we do this? How do I randomly select them?
All right, here we are. We have 24 MRE meals, and it's night one. None of these meals have been eaten yet. And now we are about to have dinner, but we need to choose which one of these meals we're gonna have. I've got menu 18, beef ravioli and meat sauce. Caitlin has
menu 4, spaghetti with beef and sauce.
MREs offer a great way to get a filling meal in any location, with nothing needed other than what comes in the bag and a water bottle or two. They are great to have on a long trail hike or in a campsite with no water or electricity hookups. We prefer the military ones because they also include a water-activated chemical heater to heat up your food. Campsite is all cleaned up. Food is put away. We are pathetic because it's 7-ish.
I don't think it's even 7.
It's 7 o'clock, and both of us are exhausted. We've already given up on sunrise, sunset. We're going to try for sunrise, so we got to get up anyway at like 4 in the morning for that. So I'm ready to crash. I know you're ready to crash. Nala already has crashed. So we're pretty much done for the night. So that is it for day one. We did a lot of driving. We stopped at a lot of overlooks. Didn't do any hiking.
That's because we had places to be.
Yeah.
We had to be
too much driving today. We drove 4.5 hours up to the top from our house to the top of Skyline Drive, and then 80 miles down Skyline Drive. We're about 3/4 of the way through Shenandoah National Park, so we'll enter the Blue Ridge Parkway part of our trip tomorrow. We do have some hikes planned, although I don't know if we'll be able to pull them off or not. We'll have to wait and see about that. But a lot depends on the weather. But we're going to go ahead and get up early for sunrise in the middle of the night. We'll see what tomorrow brings. But not bad for a Friday the 13th. We didn't get into any trouble today.
Shh, it's not over yet.
How about you, Nala? Are you ready for bed? Are you ready to go tonight? You ready to go bed? You ready to go bed? Or you want to go for a walk? Or you want to go for a ride? Or you want to go for bed? Want to go bed? Or you want to go for a walk? We'll go for a ride?
Why are you teasing her?
No, we're going to go bed. Yes,
bed.
nighttime. You're tired. All right. We're calling it a night. We're going to bed early so we can get up early. We'll see you tomorrow.